Hey guys, Ellen Woodbridge here, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia. And today I am back with our February Christmas Stampathon challenge. And this month's challenge is to stamp a background. So for my card this month, which you can see here, I've made 7 so far and I'm going to make my 8th with you guys. I have used the Night in Bethlehem set. As soon as I knew what the challenge was, I went, I want to stamp all my buildings and create a gorgeous background. So I've also used our rectangle stitched framelits to create the frame and cut out the sentiment, and I have used some frost white shimmer paint. So let's get right into it. I'll leave these over here and I will bring in all my bits and bobs, well, some of them anyway. So for the stamped piece, I am using grey granite, and the 2 other colours I am using are Night of Navy and Sahara Sand. So I'm keeping it really, really simple. So I have used the stamping off technique for the background. Now as I stamp this, I'll just bring in my scrap stamping off paper here. As I'm stamping this, I'll explain the Christmas Stampathon challenge to you. So basically it is a challenge where we get ready for Christmas. So there are 3 other demonstrators doing this with me, who is Rosalie Desmond, who is also in Australia. We have Ruth Trice, who is in the UK, and Denise Garrison, who is in the US. So what I've done here, I've stamped once, I've stamped without re-inking twice, and stamped off again for a 3rd time. So I'm just using as much as I can. I'll just give that a little stamp off. Okay, now I have that side. Now I'm going to do this side and repeat it again. And this one, that's that done. So basically we set the challenge on the 25th of every month, and we started last month being on the 25th of January. And basically we have a theme for the month. You have until the 24th of the month to post your challenges to our Facebook group. Okay, I've done the 3rd there. So I'm going to stamp once here, stamp off, and stamp the 3rd time. And then I'll just do this side, stamp off, stamp twice, and stamp 3 times. That is my background done, guys. Really, really simple. So the challenges change every month. Last month we were making cards and or tags. This month it is your free choice of what type of project that you make. And yeah, so we change it up every month and really hope, sorry, dropped my shimmer mist on the ground, and really hope you guys can participate. So just to give this a bit of a lift, what I'm doing, I'm using our Frostbite shimmer paint in one of our Stampin' spritzers with some rubbing alcohol, and this is just to lift the background a bit and give it a bit of shine. I probably used a touch too much there, but you know, there's never too much shimmer and shine. So I'll just let that dry, and that won't take long because I've used alcohol in there. Okay, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring in this piece and our sentiment. So the sentiment is wishing you a season of joy as we remember the night when love came down to the earth and became our song of celebration. I am not necessarily super religious, but I do have a lot of people who are in my life. So I do like to have some special cards for them made. Okay, so that, actually I had a bit of trouble stamping this when I was making the other cards. I was moving just a touch, which wasn't helpful. So I've stamped that. I'm just going to pop that off to the side for a second, and I'm also going to stamp the inside of the card because I'm using a Night of Navy back card base. I have done a card center so I can write and people can understand what I'm saying. So I'm going to use our buildings again, and then I will get to do the die cutting of that sentiment. So in Sahara Sand, I have just stamped that. And then I have used, also from the same set, Blessed Christmas Wishes in our Night of Navy. And I am just going to stamp that. It's not perfect, but it is stamped better than some of the other ones I stamped just a little earlier. So that is all the stamping done for the card. So yeah, come over and join the group. Lots of inspiration. We've had a lot of girls participate last month, which was fantastic, and I was so inspired by a lot of their projects, which was helpful to me. I love being inspired and looking at what other people make. So I'm going to bring this piece in. Going to grab my Big Shot and going to bring in my stitched shape framelit. Now this actually matches this sentiment perfectly. You would think they were made for each other. So it just fits perfectly, and because it fits so snugly like this one, that's why I decided to add a vellum frame. So just crank this through. Now I have already pre-prepared our vellum frame. So, and I have used magnetic platform, so the framelit didn't move anywhere as I was cranking through the Big Shot. So let's pop this out. Now the one thing I do like about these stitch shape framelits is that it puts stitching on both the piece that you're cutting from and the piece you're cutting out. So if I wanted to, I could nest this back in and have a double stitch line, which would look fantastic. Or I could, and I will show you because I have that framelit out, I could cut the neck size up and create a frame to go around. I don't know, would this go around this? Yes, I could create a frame for another sentiment, which would work really well. So just to explain how our framelits work, now let's see if I can find here my piece of vellum, which, as you girls know, I have an affinity with vellum. Now I'm just going to use my snail adhesive and just pop a couple of lines on here and line this up and place it down approximately in the middle. Can't have everything perfect, otherwise it'll look like a Hallmark card and not a homemade card. And just put 3 dimensionals on the back. So I just wanted to give it, I didn't want to make it completely flat, but I did want to make it a fairly simple card, because this, if I run out of cards closer to Christmas, I could grab this card and go, perfect, I can reproduce this one really, really easily. Okay, so we've got our outside, our inside, our sentiment. Now we've just got our card base. So this is half a piece of A4. And I am just going to grab my bone folder, give it a nice score. Right, that is that done. So because this piece is a tad warped, I am going to use our Tombow multi-purpose glue. Now I'm going to be using the broad tip end because my pen tip end is blocked, and I don't want to waste the glue that I have left in here. Please excuse all the outside noises you can hear. It's a lovely day here in Australia, and I've got the air conditioner off because it's the middle of summer, or the end of summer really. So I've turned the air conditioner off and I have the windows open, letting the beautiful breeze through. Oh, so I've done that, and this also gives me some wiggle room to get the framing around this piece, well, as perfect as we can. And of course, because I'm filming, this is not going to be correct. Now, because this is a touch warped, I'm going to bring in one of my big blocks and just put some even pressure on it, so then it won't move while I do it, but it does help stick it down. So I don't often use these blocks to stamp with, but I do often use them to put some, oops, sorry there guys. I do quite often use them to pop even pressure on my card to adhere it. So I'm just going to pop this sentiment on. Now you can put the sentiment wherever you want. Because I stamped this piece fairly cleanly, I think I'm just going to put it in this area so I get both of the full stamped, or a portion of both of the full stamped pieces. Now I know I didn't stamp my bottom row perfectly straight, but that's okay. So now I just have my centerpiece to pop in, and just because it's convenient, just going to pop a row of snail adhesive, and helps if I put this in straight, pop that in, and we have both the decorated outside with our stamped off stamped background, and with the frost white shimmer spray, and we have our simply stamped inside. I would love you guys to come over to our Christmas Stampathon 2019 Facebook group and join in on the challenges. If you join in, you do earn a ticket into our prize draw at the end of the year. So our prize draw is a product pack for both for Australia, the UK and the US, and we do have a secondary prize of winning a sample of each one of our projects. So come, be ready for Christmas, join us for all the fun. If you can only join in a couple of challenges, you are ahead of the game for Christmas. Thanks so much for joining me, and I will catch you guys later. Bye.